Hey Bowtie Nation, Joseph Hogue just got back from meeting so many of you in New York and Chicago. Fanny and Patricia, James, Carmen, Devil Dog Eric, everyone came out, and I've got to tell you, it hit me hard. Every handshake, every story about how you're building your financial future reminded me why I do this. You inspire me more than you know, and I can't wait to see even more of you next year when we take this Bowtie Nation tour across the US. But while I was flying home, I couldn't shake this one thought, that there is a disconnect, something that's setting a lot of investors up to fail. And that disconnect, a misunderstanding, is going to cost you money, stress, and that dream you're chasing. That's what I want to talk about today, the difference between chasing the market and owning your future. Now, I'm not here to rack up views. I'm here to see you build the life you deserve. I care about this community too much to let you fall into the same traps that, frankly, Wall Street hopes you'll get stuck in forever. So let's fix this together right now. And that problem starts the minute you turn on CNBC or scroll through YouTube here. Everywhere you look, someone's shouting about the next can't-miss stock, the next secret that's going to make you rich overnight. Analysts on TV and influencers on social media, people like me, we all make it look like the game is finding that one hot stock that's about to explode higher. And honestly, that's our job, my job, to find the ideas, to research the companies and dig through the market, find those opportunities before anyone else, because without that, why the hell would you need us anyway, right? But here is where the problem starts, and this is what keeps me up at night. It's not the money. I made enough as an analyst on Wall Street that I could do this and not worry about that money. What I worry about is how this market hype cycle is affecting you and your future. How this machine, the constant hype, the get rich from the stock mentality, how it's setting you up to fail. It breaks my heart to think that my new friends there in New York, Chicago, across the Bowtie Nation, that it might lose your hard-earned money. But you do see those videos with the thumbnails screaming 10x returns or retire off this one stock. You see the seven-figure portfolios and the influencers flexing those triple-digit returns, and you think that is investing. Always chasing, always buying, being on that lookout for the next hot stock until you're sipping Mai Tais in a hammock on some island paradise. But nation, let me be real with you here. That is not investing. That's chaos. You end up with 40 or 50 stocks, half of them you don't even remember why you bought them in the first place. You're checking your phone every hour, you're trying to keep up with all the headlines, turning every day to shit because some company missed their earnings or another analyst downgraded a stock. It is exhausting, like working a second job that doesn't pay anything. And nation, I gotta take my share of the blame here too. As creators, even when I was an analyst, we feed that beast. We have to keep coming out with those new videos, the new stocks, the new market analysis, and it can make it seem like that is what investing is supposed to be, but it's not. It is a job. For me, it's a passion following these stocks, always trying to stay one step ahead of the market, but that is not investing. No, investing, real investing, is about you, your goals, your freedom. It's about taking control of your money so it works for you, not for Wall Street and not for YouTube, not for anyone else. But now if you're ready, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. 5 simple steps to take back your power, simplify your strategy, and finally start investing for your life instead of this perverted hamster wheel of stock picking. And step 1 here is the most important and yet one most investors spend the least amount of time on, setting your goals for your money. And now this isn't just some arbitrary, oh, I need $1 million to retire, and then finding the stocks that are going to 10x your money. No, step 1 is creating that mental picture of your life when you do reach those goals. Whether it's retirement on some sandy beach, your kids graduating college, or that Vegas vacation that you'll never remember, you're going to create that mental picture with all the resolution of your clearest memory. So in that, you want to think through things like for retirement, where you're living, who are you spending your time with, and what do you do on your days and nights? For your other goals, how does it feel to see your kid walk across that stage at Stanford, waving back at you? Or what does a Jell-O shot taste like at 4 a.m. at the Peppermint Hippo? Hey, don't judge. And I say this is the most important step because it does 2 critical things on your investing journey. First, you're going to know exactly how much you need to reach your goals. The average cost of retirement is around $700,000, depending on where you live. Stanford is going to run you $92,000 a year, and the only way to party at the Hippo is a quadruple bottle package for $1,300. But more important than all this is that mental picture, that image. That is your vision, your North Star. Maybe it's walking your kids to school every day instead of fighting traffic. Maybe it's fishing with your grandkids or traveling with your spouse. Whatever it is, build that image because that picture, that's your anchor. That's what keeps you from panicking when stocks fall or chasing the hype when everyone else is losing their minds. And once you have that mental picture, everything else is easy, even the saving to invest. That image becomes your guiding force, your answer to anything. And your next step is to find an investment calculator, like the one I'll link to in the description. Here you're going to put in how much you need, when you need it, how much you're starting with it, and how much you invest each year. Now, what it's going to give you is the surprise of your life. That's because instead of needing those 100% returns everyone is chasing, for most of you, it's going to show you that you can get to your goals on a much lower return, less risk, and far less stress. In fact, if your goal requires less than maybe 12% a year return, a set it and forget it index fund may be all you need. How easy would that be? Now, you're going to fine tune your investments to meet that return need, but next is creating your portfolio around a core satellite strategy. This is where you put the majority of your money, around 60, even 70%, into exchange traded funds or ETFs for those big picture returns and the safety. For example, if you're starting with $100, that means $60 or $70 of it's going to be in ETFs, cover the stocks, bonds, and real estate, as well as maybe some major themes like AI or cybersecurity funds. Good examples here could be the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, the VOO, for those stocks in the 500 largest companies in the US. Maybe the bond fund, the BLV ETF, or the real estate sector ETF, the ticker XLRE. And then the SPDR Gold Shares, ticker GLD, all for those exposures into those main asset classes. And on top of those asset classes, maybe you add 2 or 3 other ETFs in those growth themes, like maybe the Global X Artificial Intelligence and Tech ETF, the AIQ. And it's in this core portion of your portfolio that you know, even if you bollocks up the rest of your money, if you follow some YouTuber into the next Enron, you're still going to earn that market 10 or 12% return from this biggest chunk of your money. Then with the rest of your money, and depending on how much higher a return you actually do need, you invest in those individual stocks, the crypto, and the other investments that can get you there faster. Now that still doesn't mean that you bet it all on the one spin of the wheel or that meme stock. You still have to pick good quality stocks with this, but it does give you that chance to earn a kicker on your return, more than that market return with your core portion of your portfolio. The beauty of this approach is that balance. Your core gives you that dependable growth. Your satellites, they keep investing interesting and give you a little bit more opportunity. You get to explore those hot new themes, the AI, the crypto, cybersecurity, without betting the farm on any one idea. Having just a third or so of your money in these individual stocks, it's going to make step 4 so much easier, picking between 10 to 20 stocks you really believe in. That's because, nation, this is one of the biggest mistakes I see investors make. A YouTuber pulls some stock out of their ass and the investor just has to buy it. Folks, if you own 40 or 50 stocks, you don't have a portfolio, you have chaos. You're drowning in headlines, checking those earnings reports, and dreading every day that one of your stocks is going to show up on the biggest losers list. Cutting your individual stocks down to the 10 or the 20 that you really like, that's the difference between owning stocks and owning businesses. You're going to know the cash flow, the growth drivers, the industries in which they compete, and what makes them the best of the best. Not only does this make sure that you're only investing in those best stocks, it also gives you the knowledge that when a stock you own does stumble, you're going to have the confidence of research to stick with it for that rebound. Step 5 here is a freebie. Just invest regularly and get that free money in your 401k or retirement accounts. Nation, if there is one secret to building wealth that almost nobody talks about, it's that consistency beats brilliance every day of the week. You don't need perfect market timing or insider tips. You just need to show up over and over again. Hell, you don't even need new stock ideas. The best stocks and the funds, those are usually the ones already in your portfolio. Invest every month or every paycheck if you can. Set it up so that each month money automatically transfers into your investments before you even see it. If you wait to see what's left over, folks, there is never going to be anything left. So pay yourself first, not someday, and not when the market looks good, every single month. Then if your employer offers a 401k match, hell, that's free money. Not metaphorically, literally free money. You're leaving thousands of dollars on the table each year by skipping that match, so always contribute at least enough to get the full match there. Then, if you can, you max out your IRA contributions each year, traditional or Roth. You're going to get great tax benefits, and most people don't stress out about it as much in their retirement accounts because that money is just stuck there until you retire. And it is as easy as that. 5 simple steps to make investing about you so you can do more of step 6, enjoying your life, your goals, and your family. Nation, I'm going to keep picking stocks, giving you that market analysis because I love what I do and honestly do a pretty damn good job of it. Do not ever mistake this channel for just another stock picking circus. This is about you, your goals, your family, your freedom. Keep on watching, keep learning, but most of all, keep making your money work for you. Click on the video to the right and learn in 1 hour what it took me more than a decade to learn on Wall Street, my complete analysis and stock picking process. Don't forget to join the Let's Talk Money community by tapping that subscribe button and clicking the bell notification.